Jerry is out of New York City. Hey, Jerry.
Jesse, what's going on? Good morning.
Hey, Jerry. All is well. How you?
I'm well. I'm well. We
Good,
spoke
buddy.
yesterday, but I called back today with a different kind of question and comment. What do you think about Tupac Shakur and the message that he was trying to spread when he was alive? Do you have any opinions on that?
I
I
write.
noticed you mentioned Ice Cube in your book. You had a line
Yeah,
about Ice Cube.
I write about Tupac in my book, For Race to Responsibility. And
Oh, I didn't get to that part yet. Okay.
yeah, no, I'm not from Race to Responsibility, but from the antidote, healing America
Okay.
from the poison of hate, blame, and victimhood. And he definitely had an issue with his mother and long for his father. And I believe that's what he was trying to say. But I don't know if people really understand because he overreacted to things. So I don't think they quite got it. And I believe that
I agree.
I believe his mother was a Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that cannot be good. So, but he definitely had an issue with his mother.
So I was trying to figure out why I was a liberal for the longest time since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And when I got to doing some self-reflection, I remembered that I used to listen to him nonstop, just put his songs on repeat. I actually still remember all the words to most of the songs, which is why I can reflect on this now. And I realized that, even as a white Jewish kid from New York,
Yes.
I easily was just able to identify with his message as far as, being empathetic for Black people, using the government and police as an excuse for why they were doing bad. And that actually helped fuel my liberal mentality. Aside
Yes.
from that, I also went to public schools in New York, which also didn't help. But I guess you had an opinion on this in your book, and I had no idea. I'm very happy that you wrote about it. But I want to know, what do you think if he were still alive now? Do you think he probably would have been easily identified with the message of the liberals and the Democrats?
I don't know because I would have to, people change sometimes. And so I really
Right.
don't know. When I moved to LA and at the age of 18, I fell into that same trap where I started listening to the so-called Black leadership, like Jesse Jackson and Louis Farrakhan and NAACP, and most of the Black preachers that I listened to, they were in that same mode of blaming white people, feeling sorry for the Blacks, not making Black people be responsible for themselves. And so I fell into that same mode, and as a result, fell into darkness. And when I started to question it, like, if white people are really holding Black people back, why is it that the Blacks like Jackson and others are doing so well? Their kids are going to some of the best schools, they're getting the jobs, and they're living in nice neighborhoods. And I realized that I had been lied to. That's what really started me to overcome that lie. It's so sad, Jerry, that there are so many people, including other Blacks, who are catering and lying to Black people to keep them in a fallen state mode. I even noticed that there are liberal Jews who are Democrats, and they have this false idea that Black people are just pitiful, they can't help it. Whites who are doing that, and Blacks are like going to hell in a handbasket, and the Black men are as bad as the Black women. I was thinking yesterday how in the good old days when men were men and boys were boys, the Black women sound like, for the most part, sounded like Black men. They had logic. And now that role has reversed. The Black men sound like Black women. They're emotional, they're illogical. They're looking for that false sympathy from the children of the lie. It's amazing how things have switched.
I agree. Who do you think Black women sound like now? If men sound like them, and do you think it's reversed now?
Black women sound like out of control women who are desperate for the light of the man to bring them out of the hell. They're just out in the wilderness, wandering around with nowhere to go and no one to look up to. They have no idea. And I have, coming up in the next hour, I have this woman, a Black woman, a Democrat, a so-called senator of Arkansas, You're going to see how out of control this woman is, and you can tell she's not being led by a logical man because it's hard to find logical men in the black community. That false, um, that false love is out there. That false victim mentality is out there. It is crazy, man.
You know, I also find it weird that, you know, rappers like Tupac, Ice Cube, you know, the rap group NWA, all those rap groups, Bone Thugs that I used to listen to, you know, they had such a huge platform. They made it out of the bad neighborhoods they grew up in.
Yeah.
They did really, really well with themselves, but yet they continued to point the finger. And I don't even understand why. If it was proven that black people or whoever can make it in this country and become wealthy and build a real life, why continue to spread the negativity? And
because
like I said,
it pays
this
money.
influenced me so much as a kid. I was such a hateful kid. I hated the police.
Yeah.
I hated my parents. I hated everyone. I was, you know, it was terrible. It was a terrible phase that I went through. I'm not blaming Tupac directly for it, but it helped fuel me. And
yes.
I just don't understand why. If they made it, why would they think that no one else can make it? It doesn't make sense to me.
Because they are making money. They move out of the ghetto neighborhoods into the white communities. They live good lives, and they don't want to lose the power and the wealth that they get from keeping other people down. They don't care about anyone. They don't care about black people. They don't care about whites. They don't care about anyone. They don't care about the children. It's about power and wealth for themselves. And that's why they don't change it. That's why they don't tell the truth. Because if they told the truth, they're not going to make as much money. And the money is before anything else with these people. That's why you don't see the so-called black leadership, the black politicians, the black preachers. You don't see them telling the truth to black people today. Or even white liberals. They don't tell the truth to black people because if they did, black people start thinking for themselves and they'll stop voting these people in. They'll stop spending their money on them, and they'll lose power. That's why they're not telling them the truth. That's why I want people to get to know themselves so they can wake up and see what's going on.
You know, a lot of white people are afraid of talking realistically to black people because of, you know, empathy and the whole victimology. What do you recommend when a white person and a black person are having a conversation? How do you recommend that? What do you think? How can we get over that fear of, oh, if I say this and I disagree with you, I must be racist, I must be evil? What is the best way to, you know, have that conversation without feeling like I'm a villain?
Well, one thing I've noticed over the years is that people who have really men and women who've gotten to know themselves and they go and forgive and they return back to the Father, once that anger is gone, you no longer have the fear. The fear is taken away from you. So if it's not there, you never have to deal with it. And so when you do deal with black people, it won't bother you that they're name calling and threatening and all that, because you'll see that they're just angry, out of control people, but you still love them enough to tell them the truth. There's this guy from Alabama, I don't know if you know, it's called T. And he's out of control. He's an old man, but he's out of control. He act like a black woman, but still I'm patient with him because I realize he knows not what he's doing. The nature that's in him, that's all he ever known. He doesn't know what it is to be logical and to correct a wrong. And so when they call you names, it'll just roll off your back. It wouldn't mean anything to you.
Yeah, I've worked with plenty of black people. I've had black people working under me. I have had black bosses, and I would always get blamed for, because I'm white or because I have white skin, that I must have been born with a silver spoon.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've heard that, and I never understood why, but I kind of get it now. It's that whole victimology.
It is, and all they are doing is repeating what they have been told. They don't know if that's true or not for themselves. If you notice, not all, but most black people just repeat what someone have told them. They hear the liberal line media say it. They see other blacks on TV saying it. They hear their black preachers saying it. And so they don't know if it's true or not, but they're just repeating it. And when white people respond to that as though it's true, it convinces them that it is true. That's why whites have to stand up and say no to black people. That's the only way that they're going to get over this stuff. Right now, they're begging for reparations.
Yeah, that's insane.
And it's insane.
That's insane.
And they're not even embarrassed about it. And they should be embarrassed because we have given them reparations for the last 60 years. We've given them everything that they wanted, and they've gotten worse and begging more than getting better. Even the men are begging for reparations. And that's not normal for a man to do that. In the good old days, before these black men became like women, a black man would never beg for a handout. It would be like an insult to beg for a handout.
The demographics of America changed so much. Like, who would have to give that money to them, and who would receive it? It's ridiculous.
That's right.
Such a ridiculous topic.
There's not one black that living today that deserves reparations. They ain't never worked no way. All they have ever done was beg and blame. And you shouldn't have to pay their reparations. I shouldn't have to pay their reparations.
Right.
I had nothing to do with so-called slavery. It's insane, but they love free stuff now. And you're going to hear more and more black men and women begging for reparations. It's going to get worse because Elizabeth Warren and others are offering that to them or suggesting that because they want the votes and they know black people love free stuff. So that's why they're offering free stuff.
Oh man,
Jerry, good call, man.
It's sad. It's sad how much we are going backwards. But hopefully, Trump gets reelected in 2020, and we could just start to heal ourselves from all these stupid ideas. But Jesse, hey, thank you for taking my call. I know you got to run.
Yeah,
much appreciated, man.
You're welcome. As you're overcoming that anger, you're not going to be afraid of the blacks. Blacks are very violent, very angry, the men and the women. But you won't be afraid of them. You just see them. People with issues, they are blind by their anger, which was caused by their mothers, and they cannot see.
All right, right on.
All right, thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. Enjoy your morning.
All right, I appreciate it, buddy.